So David, we'll just get you, start with you.
David Simpson,
just as Ed.
DAVID-SIMPSON.
Great, thank you. So tell us about this squad that you've announced today.
The squad that we've announced today for the upcoming 2016 season is a combination of train and trialists and guys who are part of our top 35. So what we try to aim for each year, following protocol, is around a squad of 35 members, and they will be made up of, at the current time, of what we call full-time contracted players that have signed agreements to our club, and then the opportunity for young men both from the community and abroad to train and trial with us all the way up until the end of our trials leading into March. And then those guys who are successful will then become part of our full-time squad into that 35. The other guys, hopefully from the experience in which they receive, will be able to take that experience back to their domestic clubs in the local competition and be better for it, and be able to then pass on those processes and skills in which they've developed into the local competition as well.
And you've had a few people come in from interstate like Canberra. Can you talk about those players for us?
We've on good guidance and references, and again, it's all this is by word of mouth and a little bit of video footage, because I haven't seen a bad CV yet. So we really have to do reference checks, but still that doesn't cover us. So the young men that we brought to the club have been regarded by their coaches and people in their communities. And they're of several different mixes, not only just their denomination or the countries in which they come from, but the positions in which they play and the positions in which we felt as a club that we needed to bolster to make sure that we're a very competitive outfit moving forward.
And what are those positions, and who are the players?
Oh, obviously your key positions here, in today's game, from my point of view, is front row is the most important position in the game. If you can't go forward and if you can't defend the ruck well, it doesn't matter what you've got around that. So we've really looked heavily into that position. We've got some really good players already contracted to the club. There's no detriment there, but we've also decided that we needed to bolster that up and stock that up. So young John Papali is just one of those boys that we've brought to the club. There's another young kid that I'm really looking forward to. I hope he really trains and trials well. That's Isaac Richardson, he's from the Whitsunday Brahmins. And they're just to name a few. We've also brought Howard Brown to our community. He's a young and upcoming halfback with really silky skills and great feet. So we're hoping for big things from him. Also Leonardi has come to us from the New South Wales Cup competition, has had NYC experience at the Manly Sea Eagles. He's a really good looking athlete, really got the physique for it. So again, we're hoping that with his mental progress, that he'll become a more consistent first grade footballer. And another young kid that I'm really excited about bringing to the club is young Jack Creeth from Parks. He's been a part of the Canberra NYC system, and he just looks like a really amazing talent, and he comes across as a really solid young man.
And obviously, up a bit, Josie.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
And obviously, there's a lot of young guys here, but Jardine Babongi's back in the squad. That's pretty exciting for the Cutters and for Mackay as well.
Definitely, Chris. Jardine's a stalwart, not only of this club, but of the community. He's a great man to boot, which really assists the culture that I'm trying to implement here at the club. And one of the upsides about Jardine is he's a great footballer at any level, and he's proven that over the years. And I'm really sort of humbled that he wanted to be a part of this again. He is with Magpies, but he'll do his rehab as part of the program with us. And look, to be honest with you, we'll just see where we go from there with Jardine. But it's just great to have a guy like him around. And as you mentioned, with the youth in the squad, a guy like Jardine is invaluable to their progress.
How is his injury coming along? Obviously, it was a pretty nasty one in the final series last year.
Yeah, no, definitely. From all reports at the moment, quite well. If you ask Jardine, it's quite well, but I'm sure once we get him in front of our medical team as well, they'll be saying the same. And with Jardine's experience, I'm expecting, and on the flip side, I'd be very disappointed that if he isn't thorough with his rehab as well, maybe put him in the best position to have another crack at it.
You said that the culture that you're trying to create here, in your own words, what is that culture?
Look, There's a list of trademarks, you know, that we'll probably at the moment keep within the group, but I really just think it's about young men being their best. You know, if you can operate with that mentality about bringing your best to training, about bringing your best to the game, also about being your best in the community, I just don't think we can, you know, look backwards. There will be a lot of other affirmations and reasons as to why that go towards being your best, but I just think that's about, you know, the best thing, especially with young men. If we can get them with that attitude about it's just as important, if not more, about the way they conduct themselves outside of the gates here. You know, the rugby league bit, and I know it's been said before, but the rugby league bit, in my opinion, will be the easy bit.
And good to have, I just skipped my mind, Steve Rapira recommit as well. He's a classy player.
Oh yeah, classy player, outstanding gentleman. Has got great knowledge on rugby league, again, not only because of his experience, but the organisations he has been involved with prior to here. Great family man, ticks all the boxes for, you know, not as such as a role model, I think that's a pretty strong word, but you know, ticks all the boxes for young men, you know, to take note of, and you know, if they want to mimic someone, I'm pretty certain Steve Rapira would be at the top of the pile. Yeah,
and he obviously had an injury interrupted year last year with his Achilles, so it'd be good to have him fully fit and firing, hopefully.
Yeah, well again, you're exactly right, Chris. His pre-season was cut fairly, you know, fairly short in a pretty traumatic way. Achilles is in itself can be a career ender, and I'm sure Steve thought about that. But to his credit, again, I know he loves this game and the men who play it. It didn't take long to convince him to buy back in. So again, yeah, we're very lucky to have him as part of the program.
How are you settling in your role?
Yeah, good mate. It's a bit of an eye-opener, Rob. I mean, a real eye-opener. I've been a part of the construction industry since I was 18. It's been very rare for me to sit in front of a desk for too long. And again, you know, IT, all those type of things are these skills that I'm learning myself. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love the community. I've been here nearly 4 years, as I've expressed in the past, and the community's been really good to me. So through this role, I'm hoping to give a lot back, and also move the Mackay Cutters and the community, you know, forward in a positive direction, and that's about rugby league. So, you know, our goal is to play really good footy, whether it's entertaining or not. I'm not too concerned. It's, you know, the best. You know, it's about winning, and if we can win and impress our community both on and off the field, like I'd really love to have this joint pact on a consistent basis. And you know, there's a lot of things that need to be done before that, but I'm really excited about it.
Have the boys had a chance to meet each other yet, or the new boys?
No, this will happen on Monday. So we've done a lot of reconfigurating here to give it a fresh start. You know, remove signs, changed positions, dressing rooms, and again, along with hopefully the program that I'll implement and the coaching staff that I've assembled, which I'm really excited about as well. There's some really good men amongst that, and guys that have had outstanding rugby league careers, but are also good men. You know, and with that formulation or that formula, yeah, we're hoping that on Monday, yeah, it'll be a real fresh start for the club. But remaining to also acknowledging the club's history of the past and some of the culture aspects and the trademarks that the club has implemented over the past. We need to maintain that out of respect as well, and, you know, move forward in a positive direction.
And I could go through this list endlessly, but Joseph Kepa, he's someone that's been talked about a lot. He had a pretty cracky year for Simpson. It's a good reward to get onto this list.
Oh, mate, yeah, definitely, but it's only a list,
yeah.
And as the head coach, I can easily change that list. And Yosefa is a young man, and being a young man, there's a fair bit of growing up for Yosefa to do without being too critical. He's an exceptional talent, but as you know, all of you be well aware, we've come across many men and women that are very talented and have not really used that talent in the right, with the right processes and with the right result. And Yosefa sits in that category. He's on the cusp, and we are lucky to have him here, but he's also lucky to be on the list. And don't worry, there's already a big thumb over the top of him at the moment, or a hand on the shoulder, and I won't be letting him get too far away from me at all.
So all your players will always know where they stand under your coaching?
Definitely, yeah. And look, Joes, I think that's important, but also they realise that I work for them, and the majority of the time except for probably my wife and family, they come first. I've got established relationships for over 15 years now with players that I've coached from 15 years ago, and I'm still in their lives weekly, some of them, as a friend and as a mentor, but also as a disciplinarian too, even as a mate. So yeah, the boys will know where they stand with me. I've got a pretty short sort of policy with if I'm not happy, and I do get a bit anal about several things, so they'll learn about me quite quickly, I'm sure.
And what are you aiming for, like Cutters this year? Premiership? Do you think it's in the sides?
Oh look, we can say what we want about why we play and how we play, but at the end of the day, in my real opinion, it's about playing finals football. If we can create an environment and the boys buy into the program here, I think any man is capable, especially if they work unified on their day, of getting a positive result. And if we can do that consistently, and that's what it takes in this competition, because it's a tough comp. And if we can be there at the pointy end in September, we don't have to be at the top, but just at the pointy end. From my opinion and in my experience, it's game on. It's just a week-to-week proposition, and I believe then, if we've got a healthy playing list, the majority of our squad's available, then we've got as great a chance as anybody else, contesting for that title at the end of the year.